Hello friends, in this video we will try to discuss one of the Scala interview question. So the question is based on the employee sales data, we will try to see how to get the highest and lowest and medium average sales. So for that we will try to take up some sample employee sales data and then we will try to see how to retrieve the expected outcome. Let's try to create an object. Let's say sales data. So first of all, we will try to import the necessary libraries which requires for the program. Import orc dot apache dot spark dot sql dot spark session, and then we require import orc dot apache dot spark dot sql dot functions. So as part of this program we require these two libraries. So step number one, we are creating object, and then step number two, we are creating main method def main args array of string, and we created step number two main method. Let's try to create a spark session. Step number three, creating spark session val spark equal to spark session dot builder dot master local dot application name sales stats dot get or create. We created spark session. Now let's try to create some sample data from data frame. Creating sample data. Now first of all let's try to import spark implicits. Val data equal to sequence of, let's say we will try to take up employee id and then employee name and then employee sales, let's say 45. These three columns we are going to take it up, and employee 2, let's say employee id 20 and employee name Shrikant, and the sales is 120, and employee 3 id is, let's say 30, and Pradeep, let's say sales is 70, comma, and 40, comma, employee name is Chandu, let's say 170, comma, employee ID is 50, comma, employee name is Safi, and then 200 is a sales, employee sales, and then employee 6 is employee ID is 60, and then employee name is Anil, and employee sales is, let's say 250, and 70, and the employee name is Ibrahim, and sales is, let's say 300. So we have taken the sample data. Now let's try to create a data frame out of RDD equal to data dot 2df. We are creating data frame based on 2df method, and then let's try to create a schema. Employee id, comma, employee name, comma employee sales. Now let's try to look up the sample data which we created. Okay, the program has successfully run and the data frame has created. Now we will try to categorize the sales data. Categorize the sales data based on certain condition criteria. So let's say if it is the employee sales is less than or equal to 100, then we will mark it as low. And if it is less greater than 100 and less than or equal to 200, then we will mark it as medium. Otherwise we will mark it as high. Now let's say val df category equal to, let's say, df dot with column. Let's say I'm storing into the new column sales category, comma, when, let's say, call of employee sales is less than or equal to 100, then let's mark it as low. And then dot low, let's say, dot when call of, let's say, employee sales is greater than 100 and call of, let's say, employee sales is less than or equal to 200, then we are marking as medium. Dot otherwise we are marking as high. Now let's try to look up the data category dot show. So what we are trying to do here, we are actually segregating the data based on the condition. If it is employee sales is less than or equal to 100, then we are marking it as low. And then if it is greater than 100 and then less than or equal to 200, then we are marking as medium. Otherwise we are marking as high. So, and we are storing this condition basis is in the new column under sales category. Now let's try to run this program. Program executed successfully. So this is the actual data frame, and on top of that we are creating basically a new column called sales category. And then based on the condition we are marking it as, based on the condition we are marking as the sales category. If it is less than or equal to 100, we are marking it as low. If we clearly see here, 45 is marked as low, 70 is marked as low. And if it is greater than 100, then we are marking it as medium. And if it is above 200, then we are marking it as high. So as per the condition it is categorized. Now we will try to group the data and then we'll try to calculate the average sales. grouping data and calculating average sales. Now let's take calculate average sales variable. Now df underscore category dot group by based on sales category, the new column which we created. For this column we are grouping the data dot aggregate average of employee sales. Now let's mark this alias as average sales. Now let's try to look at the data dot show. What we are trying to do here, we are categorized here based on the condition. We are categorized low and high and medium sales, and that particular column we are using for the group by, and then we are calculating the average aggregation based on employee sales for the average. Now let's try to run this and then we will try to see. Okay, program executed successfully. Now if we try to see here, the sales category high, low and medium. The average sales for high is 275 and low is 57 and medium is 163. So this is how we will get the required stats. So what we have done exactly, if we took it initially the respected libraries which required for our program, and then we creating the object, and then step number 2 we are creating main method, and then step number 3 we are creating spark session. Step number 4 we are taking up sample data which storing into rdt, and then we are converting using .2df method data frame, and then we are giving the schema details here, and then we are categorizing the sales data using when class. So here we are creating new column and storing the conditional basis data into this new column, and then finally we are grouping the column, and then we are taking the average of aggregation of employee sales. So this is how we can able to achieve the data, means average sales for the highest, lowest and medium. That's all for today's case. If you really like this video, please do subscribe, like it and share it, and please do the comment.